What's up, everybody? Welcome to Exploring and Explaining the Pac-Man Ghosts, Part 19. I am determined to make it at least to Part 20. Who knows, maybe I'll make a Part 21, and I haven't given up on my quest to talk about every single Pac-Man ghost. If you're new to this series, it's a long-running video series I have on my SuperPat98 YouTube channel here, where I talk about all the Pac-Man ghosts in the entire history of the Pac-Man franchise. I talked about the ghosts in the Pac-Man cartoons, the arcade games, the console games, the books, the comics, merchandise, fan-made Pac-Man ghosts, fan art of Pac-Man ghosts, speculative on ghosts of Pac-Man that seem like they're ghosts, and all this kind of stuff, and like all the villains of Pac-Man I also talked about before. So anyway, without further ado, be a Ghostbuster with me and enjoy Exploring the Pac-Man Ghosts, Part 19. Number 1, Screamy. Screamy is a red, very creepy ghost from a Pac-Man creepypasta known as Insert Soul, aka pacman.exe. The game itself really isn't scary, in my opinion. Then again, most things don't scare me, to be quite honest about myself, but I do think the game is very eerie. I will say that. I really dig the ghosts in Insert Soul. They're interesting, and they make you wonder what was the imagination and the inspiration behind some of their designs, and the names that whoever created it came up with. I really like Screamy. He will appear from time to time, kind of rarely. For some reason, Screamy is smiling, even though you'd think that Screamy would be in pain, a painful scream. But is Screamy like demented, and that's why he or she is screaming in like a demonic way or something like that. Also seems to be like a bloody ghost, like symbolic of how the person died before they became a Pac-Man ghost, really. And I love the names of the ghosts in this Insert Soul game, because they all have the traditional Y at the end of the name, or the IE. Very cool stuff. There actually isn't really that much Pac-Man creepypastas out there, so this is a pretty significant find. A long time ago, I decided to include fan-made Pac-Man ghosts onto this list, because the fans keep the ghosts alive. Just like how in real life we keep the dead alive with us by thinking and talking about ghosts, so no one ever really dies, you know what I mean? Number 2, cavemen ghosts. I've already talked about caveman ghosts in one of my previous videos in Pac-Man The Adventures in Time for the Windows computers, which I assumed they were the ancestors of Blinky, Pinky, Inky, and Clyde. But also, there was an episode of the Hanna-Barbera 80s Pac-Man cartoon where those same ghosts were also cavemen. But are the ghosts from Adventures in Time the same ones from the Hanna-Barbera cartoon? That's some timeline confusion right there, if anyone can try to explain that in the comments down below. I always assumed that all of Pac-Man takes place within the same storyline, whether it's from a book or a cartoon or the games, that they all work in tandem somehow, and I really love that idea. I hate this idea of separating all the lore of Pac-Man as if each thing is its own thing, because if that was the case, then why are there so many similarities between each different version of Pac-Man? For instance, in one of my other videos I talked about Pac-Man and the Ghostly Adventures, and since that takes place in a futuristic-like city, I assumed that took place in the future, which is a much better idea than it just taking place in another fucking dimension. So, thinking about a Pac-Man timeline is more interesting, and it could actually fit and actually work. So which part of the Pac-Man timeline begins first? The Hanna-Barbera Pac-Man Caveman Ghosts episode? Or that level where Pac-Man travels back in time in Adventures in Time? Which part actually takes place first? Do they both take place at the same time period? Really interesting to think about. But these are just my opinions. Number 3, Sparkly. Sparkly is basically a stuffed animal ghost you could buy, which celebrates the 45th anniversary of Pac-Man. Pretty recent and very cool. The stuffed animal is a gray, sparkly, rainbowish kind of ghost. And I nicknamed the ghost Sparkly, and I think it's a good name, but this ghost never appeared in any of the games. In one of my previous videos, I did talk about Pac-in-Time, where I said that there was a silver ghost. Could that be Sparkly? I think it's a really neat idea to mention this ghost because he or she never appeared in any of the games, but since it's a unique ghost with a unique color to celebrate the Packsters' 45 years of eating dots and munching ghosts, I think it's a fun idea, and plus, why ignore this ghost? I mean, it's a unique looking ghost, and it would be cool to put Sparkly in a game. And Sparkly is one of the most unique ghosts I've ever talked about because it's the only one I can think of that was a made-up ghost that was a stuffed animal that you can't play or see in any of the cartoons or games. Number 4, Spectral Ghosts. So these ghosts come from Pac-Man World 3. They're really called the Spectral Monsters, but I'm calling them ghosts because Pac-Man can actually eat them, which is pretty significant. Spectral is also another word for a ghost. A lot of us fans talk about how the origins of the name of calling them ghosts when they were originally known as just monsters. Therefore, these are also spectral ghosts, at least in the lore of Pac-Man. They're unique-looking beings in Pac-Man World 3 that look a little more powerful than the regular ghosts Pac-Man encounters, although they're more intimidating than possibly more powerful. These spectral ghosts have emerged from the spectral realm, which was opened up in Pac-Man World 3. It's where most of the game takes place. They emerged from the spectral realm due to Irwin's experiments. Irwin was the ghost from Pac-Man World 1, who later becomes a good guy in World 3, which is one of the best storylines they ever did with a Pac-Man ghost. When Pac-Man first encounters these spectral ghosts in World 3, he does mention that they look like spewing ghosts, probably because they look like they were ghosts made out of vomit. Gross. This is probably just a really bad joke made by Pac-Man in World 3, as he says a lot of really crappy lines, but still, it does make you think. The ghosts do look more lanky and creepier than the regular Pac-Man ghosts, which I really like. Looking at the concept artwork for the spectral ghosts of World 3, they actually look much different than they do in the final game. They look pretty cool in the final one, but the original artwork is so much better, and I do wish they had them look like this more than what we got in the final game. This is so much more interesting. These images of the spectral monsters / ghosts actually look scary compared to the original cute-looking versions of the Pac-Man ghosts. Now we actually have scary ghosts. Then again, the Pac-Man series is fairly innocent in nature, so I guess it makes sense why they didn't wind up using these, but it still would have been cool. I don't see why we couldn't have had at least two spectral ghosts that did look like the original designs they were going to go for. You know, maybe like hidden ones you could find and fight, or something like that. And they could have made one of these spectral monsters like the main villain in the game, in Pac-Man World 4 or something. It's just such an excellent idea that they only made them these minor villains you could fight in World 3, when they could have been so much more. And they even could have interacted with the original foursome Pac-Man ghosts of Blinky, Pinky, Inky, and Clyde. You can kind of see their old skeletons from when they used to be alive in the old original concept artwork for the spectral ghosts. And I really like that idea. It's almost as if their original bodies are still trying to emerge from their ghostly apparitions now. Now, these are the kind of Pac-Man ghosts you would see in a nightmare. They look so cool and interesting looking. What a shame that they never did more with them. Whoever came up with the original concept artwork for the spectral ghosts is awesome and deserves a big round of applause. Easily, the spectral ghosts are one of the best Pac-Man ghosts in the whole series, thanks to Pac-Man World 3, which is a good game, although I do think the second game is the best one, and the first one. But anyway, so where the hell is Pac-Man World 4? But that's a whole other video. And number 5, Slendy. Slendy is actually, I think, the scariest Pac-Man ghost that was ever created. It's from the Insert Soul game I mentioned earlier. Slendy, I think, is my favorite from this fan game. I can't explain too much about what Slendy is supposed to represent, but I do have some theories. The name Slendy could possibly be a reference to Slender Man, Slendy. Also, the ghost seems to have glass sticking out of it, or at least it's broken bones or something. It's hard to tell with the old graphics, which is actually a good thing because it kind of leaves the mystery intact of what the ghost is. Then again, all the Pac-Man ghosts are mysterious in nature. It's not like we know everything about all the ghosts anyway. I dig the creepy vibes and disturbing nature of Slendy. Slendy is the scariest Pac-Man ghost. Period. No other ghost looks this disturbing looking. Screamy looks endearing and charming. Slendy looks like a creature that would find you in your dreams and, like, eat you up for breakfast. But anyway, this is the Pac-Man Ghosts, part 19. It was really fun to make this video. I hope you guys enjoy it. It's hard to find more ghosts because, well, I'm up to part 19. As long as you guys keep wanting me to make them, then I'll keep making them as much as I possibly can. And we'll keep going until, all the ghosts are found. So anyway, please like and subscribe. Please hit the notification bell so that you don't miss any of my ghostly uploads. And have a fantastic week. Watch out for Slendy.